Like they don't expect that we should know everything. They
Okay.
expect that we should have a potential to learn everything which they will tell. So if you have a passion for computer, then you will do nice in your internship, in any company.
Okay.
Mine is going good as of now, still in office and waiting for dinner. And it's good. It's still, you'll enjoy your internship.
That's great.
Yeah. So mine is work from home. So I am at home. So everyone. So I have completed 2 weeks of it training. So there is always a communication on the Slack channel. Whatever updates are there. So basically, there is no much code involved in the internship part. Uh, there is also documentation part and testing phase that we have to do. So only 40%, I guess, is the coding part. 60% is the overall management and doing things. So it's good, right?
The update of my internship is that we haven't started our project yet. Like we are still learning different tech stacks, and we don't know that where we are going to use it. But it's still like in my internship, like I go to the office at 11. I come back to my PG at 5:30. So it is like pretty chill up till now.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah,
it was wonderful
are
hearing
also
from.
free. We are also free, but we are just waiting for the dinner at the office. Then we will go to PG.
Okay.
Okay, so coming to the formal questions now, can you please describe your preparation strategy and is there anything which you know now which could have helped in your preparation of internships? Would you like to share them?
See, the programming part, the proper coding part, whether it be CP or DSA, is the most important component for the preparation. Because most of the filtration of the students for any company test happens in the coding part only. Like if 400 people have filled the form, then out of 400, just 30 or 40 will be shortlisted for the interview. So the main filtration happens in the coding part. So that is the most important part in the preparation. Then comes the interview, project, resume, and everything. So as per me, you should focus on the coding part more and firstly, then you should focus on the interview part.
Yeah.
Uh,
So as Ashutosh said, you must first have a grasp of the topics, important topics like DP graph trees, most important, asked in every company interviews. You can first complete that and then move to interviews communication part, like how will you give the interview and prepare for the interview. First, be proficient so that you can clear the coding rounds and do the questions. Then only you will get interviews. Yeah, that's it.
yeah,
Or advice for past me will be that don't focus on topic that is not common. Like if someone is focusing on KMP's algorithm very much and Z's algorithm, Sting's algorithms are there, and some DP higher optimization, DP higher level stuff. So focusing on that will not work. And later point of time, because company test your DSA, not how much you are able to optimize it or what. They don't test your space complexity optimization in coding round at least. So just see that what questions are important, like what companies used to ask, what they are want to target on, and you will see that questions repeat in coding rounds. So focus on the repeated question more and see that what they are trying to test. So I know that I focus very much on tries, and if you see only Google asks tries, no one else have asked tries. So instead of focusing on such topics which requires your time and attention more, and you are leaving important topics like the binary lifting and even the basic DFS people leaves. Uh, and DFS is very important when it comes to companies. Every question I think that I've done in the tree or graph is based on DFS only. So don't leave these important topics on other less important topics. So there is 20-80 rules, means 20% of the syllabus, so 20% of the content covers 80%. It's somewhat true in internship also. And find out the patterns that company is asking in your at the coding rounds. So you will see that Microsoft is giving what questions. Similar questions will be repeated in some other company as well. Similar type of questions will be repeating. So look into it, and this will help you out. So this is was the best advice I could give to my past self.
One advice I would give that most of the students give contest on code forces or Coursera only. Start giving contest on lead code as well. I am saying that because most of the not most of the question, almost yeah, every online assessment, the questions are lead code type. So like D question, if you're solving the D question of lead code contest, then that is equal to the you can say week 1 or week 2 online assessment questions. So start giving the context of lead code as well, because in code forces the first 3 questions are ad hoc types. They are not based on the algorithms, but in lead code you will find the D question is of DP or graph, or you can say the tough topics BJDP, 3DP. So you will find those topics there. So start giving contest of lead code. Only I think there are 6 contests in a month for lead code, so you can give it easy. So start giving contest.
Yeah.
With the like now coming to one of the most important question, like how to prepare projects and which type of projects should we prefer for internship.
Okay. Honestly speaking, first of all, don't take any tension for the projects. You can make the projects at last, and they just ask the overview of the project. They will not go in the coding file of the project and they will ask questions from that how did you did that. So they are not going in. They are not going to go inside the coding part of the project. They will just get the overview of the project from you. So don't take much tension for the project. You can make them at last. I guess 1 or 2 weeks will be enough. Build your resume properly and have 2 or 3 projects. One maybe your explore project if you have done on ML or DL or something like that, and 1 or 2 maybe your front end simple project. The thing is, they don't expect that you will make a big software. They just expect that you should have a basic knowledge of some type of tech stack. That's it. Nothing more than that. Some common projects like e-commerce website or weather API application. There are many common projects which you can find on YouTube, Udemy, and many other platforms. You can just have a glimpse of that, and that will be fine.
So for projects, basically 2 to 3 projects is a good number, and you should have a variety. Like if you are putting 3 projects, don't put three of all of web development. You can show like one of machine learning. If you don't know, you can learn basics in 2 3 days only, and just take a project from your senior or internet, anything from GitHub, and you can put it on. Just learn the basics. They'll ask only, as Ashraf said, they'll ask only the
Yeah.
overview, how you did it. They'll ask what are the challenges you faced while building it, and they'll test your teamwork if you built it in a team project basically. So you can include if you participated in any events like Udyam and Mosaic type. You can put that, and anything you like, you can take from your seniors. You can ask anybody; they'll give you your project. Um, 2 or 3 is a good number. Don't put one project. It looks like you haven't done anything in your college life. Like so, put 2 3. And if you are applying for a ML profile, so you'll prefer 2 ML projects. And if you're applying for ST, then put 2 ST projects. It doesn't matter, but it's good to have that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think all the things are covered by Ashutosh and Kritika. But one more thing I want to add that it's many a time that it comes that we have not have any project, कुछ project नहीं है. So at that time, what you can do is either buy a course on Udemy. Uh, most of my friends did that. So they bought a course from Udemy, and at the last there are always some projects. So you can by following the course you would have understand the core part also, and at the last you would have a project in your hand in which you can make your personalized modification. So this is an easy way to make a project on your tech stack that you want to choose. Tech stack means कि किस में बनाना है, Spring Boot में बनाना है, Angular में बनाना है, React में बनाना है. So what framework are you using? So this is the best thing that I can give you if you don't have any project. Taking it from senior will not help that much because senior will not help you much if he's or she is not close to you. Or maybe YouTube projects are very common. If you copy from YouTube, then you are copying it from public domain. So it, you will easily be get caught that this is copied project. So either build your own or buy a course from anyone, anywhere, and have it. Seniors projects are also risky. My friend got caught because one of our interviewer knows that this was the project of a senior who is working in that company only. So at least don't copy from the person who is in the same company.
This is very rare case, but
This is very
Kismat
rare,
Kharab wal-
but in other company she got selected. It was
One point I would add is that in the first 1 2 weeks, obviously projects are not that much important. The companies are not going to ask you so much questions from project. But after that, project plays a very crucial role, or you can say the web development plays a very crucial role. In my case, like the AI Dash company, they have like make a student open their code base, his code base, and asked him to explain the code part, one part of the code. And apart from that, after the time I got my intern, many companies started to ask the questions based on the tech stack. Like they started to ask about React, or you can say anything that you have made, the project you have made. So I will say that don't take web development very lightly. Yeah, in the first few weeks, I can say 2 or 3 weeks, the project will be not important. But after that, you can say let's take a chance that you are not able to like you did not get any chance to for the interview. So after that, you have to like have an option. You can secure an internship. So that is the case. So do not take it much lightly. Focus on that too, but more focus on the coding parts, like for coding rounds, because you can only showcase your project only if you are getting an opportunity for interview.
Also, like we
Okay,
are
so
in the form we had a
just a concluding part, as Mukund said, that most of the MNCs, you can say, most of the big companies, they don't much focus on the project part. They mostly focus on the DSA part, problem solving, and something like that. And the startups, most of the startups focus on the project, tech stack, and those things. So you have to see for which companies you are targeting. If you are targeting for the MNCs, then you can take projects lightly. But if you are not that much confident, if you are targeting about for the startups, then you should focus on the projects.
So yes, like many people had the question like there are people who are doing DSA and they have not learned about web development. And as you mentioned, like web development is necessary for projects. So like should they start learning web development now or they can start it later? And should they do like DSA continue?
So
Okay.
So
if they
there
not
are two
have,
options.
hmm, continue.
There are two options here. See, project can also be on the language part also. Like there, you can also make project on C++ and C. You can also make project on Python. You can also make project on Java. So explore that part also, first of all. Then second thing is, if you don't have the knowledge about web development, then try to take a glimpse of it. As I say, if you are targeting about for the MNCs, they are not going to ask much deeper into the project part. As Kritika mentioned, the questions that what problems do you face and what are the improvements which you can do in the project. These are the managerial type of questions, problem solving type of questions which they will ask for the project. So if you don't know the proper web development, there is no much problem. Just take a glimpse of the tech stack, that will be fine.
Kritika, you were mentioning something.
That's what I was mentioning, that don't start it now. Just have the basics clear, because if you won't clear the coding ground, won't get the interview, and that development is no use, right? So first part should be coding. If you're good enough in DSA, you are confident enough that you will pass the coding rounds, then you can go ahead and learn web development from basic. But if you are not, learn the basics, build a small project, or copy the project basically, and get a good grasp of it, that what you are doing, like, you should not be stuck. If the interview is asking what is the project and you are stuck, he'll obviously know that you have copied. So you should know the project what it is, and yeah, that's it.
Okay, Gaurav Kumar Bhaiya and Mukund Bhaiya, do you have to add anything?
No,
यार यही है, in the interview they ask you questions on project, just they want to make sure that this project is built by you. So to prove that, either you should have done the project by yourself, or you would have understanding of all the concepts that are used in the project, so that it looks like that you have made the project. So this is the main thing that they test. So it's up to you, but I prefer that make it your own. If it is also some copied one, then add your own changes and make some changes that helps you understand the code better, and the codes look like more authentic to you, like you have made this project. And this is not a big deal, you can do it in 1 week, this is max. So have your 2 project ready in 1 week.
Okay, so like basically we have to focus more on DSA and DSA but learning things, and then we can do a web tech.
And one more point, key basically not only target web development only,
Hmm.
development in any sense.
Hmm.
It can be Android development as well, Flutter, and even making a Chrome extension is also a development. So there are people who are making just Chrome extension and put it in a resume, and that look cool because nobody is using that nowadays. He's putting some Chrome extension. So
Hmm.
the main purpose of project is problem solving. So by project, if you are able to solve or make a Chrome extension that helps you save your time or someone else time, that's also good, that's a development only. So have some things apart from the box also.
Mukund Bhaiya, do you have to add anything?
no, that is okay.
Okay.
Okay, so to learn coding, it is advised to practice as much as possible. So, which platform you think would be most helpful in practicing questions, and what should be the difficulty level of questions during practice? Also, how much questions we should practice so to say that yes, I am good with this topic, I can solve any number of questions in it.
Okay, first of all, the platforms, I guess it might be cleared by now. There are many platforms. The best of them are Lead Code, Interview. These two are specially designed for the coding part and interview preparation. So you can focus on these two platforms for now. If you are very, very much good in coding, then you can also do code forces. No problem in that. I don't think that there is much problem if you focus on code forces. If you focus on code forces, then also you can pass the coding test very well. But alongside, you have to focus on lead code and GSA also. Coming on the level part, most of the companies ask questions by the medium level only, where very few companies go to hard level. So if you practice medium level and hard level questions in a good amount, then you will be fine. Then coming on the number of questions. See, there is no fixed number of questions. It is possible that you do just 100 questions and you pass the test. It is also possible that you do 1,000 questions, then also you are not able to pass the test. The thing is, you should be clear with the concepts. That is most important. If you are thorough with the concepts, you are getting the intuition how the code is working, how the problem can be solved, then it is fine. No number is perfect here. Practice is most important.
Yeah, so I guess he said what it is enough. I did complete interview bit in my 2 months of internship preparation. You can do that also because it's concise. Every concept is covered. There are around 500 questions, so you can complete that in 1.5 months. Basically, I did it. And after that, if you get time, then you can move to any DSS sheet. Like I personally did Stiver ST sheet. Most of the questions are repeated from interview bit only, but it's kind of revision. Like you'll get again same question, so you can revise that. Apart from that, I was doing code forces from my second semester. So if you're doing CP from before, you can continue that. But if you're not doing, don't start it now. Focus on DSA. Don't start CP. But if you're good, you like it, you can continue it. But apart from that, learn the basic concepts because they are not covered in CP. Basic algorithms, sorting algorithms are most important because they're asked. Merge sort is asked very frequently. So you can cover that. And yeah, uh, lead code also you can do lead code and GFG, but interview bit is really good platform. If you complete the interview bit, you can say that all concepts are covered. And about number of questions, it is not about number of questions. You can just say, like, if you feel a question in any topic, like you can say it is easy, I can do it, it's good, you are good in that topic, you can move ahead.
Yeah, similar to what Kritika and Ashutosh said. Yeah, it's what I followed is that I was also doing CP, but I was not good in CP. I was just pupil at that time. So what I did in the last 2 months, actually I was having a understanding of what DP is, graph is, and what Kruskal's algorithms and all get algorithm works, but I cannot code them. So basically what we have to do at that time, because we don't have practice, so we cannot code and find out a result even if something is our mind. So I also followed uh, Striver SD sheet and interview bit. So but my main focus was on Striver SD sheet only, because Striver was saying that you can do these topics are top interview coding questions, and if you do it, then your all things will get covered. And I was lacking in time, so what I did the 30 days of code in, I think, 32 or 33 days. And that was good, means I was having understanding of all the basic topics and I have gone through all the topics, and that's very important. If you follow any resource, going through all the topic and touching every topic is very important, and not sticking to one only. So I trusted in Striver SD sheet. You can trust in interview bit or Striver SD sheet or in lead code, geeks for geeks, anything. Just make one and trust on it. Maybe code forces also. You can try for, my friend always said that go for 1500 to 1700, 1800 questions. These problems will make your mind more good. But they will not cover the topics that are being asked in the DSA, in the coding round. But Cyber SD sheet, lead code, interview bit train you for the interview round. Oh, sorry, coding round. So that was I did, and so basically stick to one. That's my advice.
Coming to your question, that how much question one need to solve to be a good in any topic. I'd say it depends on person to person. Some person like solve less question, but the variety are more. So basically, you have to figure it out that how many questions you need to solve, and you are like feeling comfortable to solve the medium or hard type of question. you have to figure it out. But I will say that start from the medium only. Do not solve much easy problems. I'm saying with respect to lead code only, and do not solve easy questions. Start from the medium and go till the hard, because in internship it is good to like solve more medium question than hard. That would be okay.
Okay, so can you all please elaborate on each coding round of companies that you have sat for, and what skills companies see in you, and what round should we prepare for that happens in companies?
Just repeat the question.
Can you please elaborate on the interview rounds that happen in companies, like coding round, then interview, then group discussion, or what all happens in every company for SD internships?
In most of the MNCs, like V1, V2 companies, there are one coding round, then there are the round of interviews. Mostly there are two rounds of interviews in most of the companies. So one coding round and two interview round in most of the companies. Some companies have three rounds, like one tech, then one managerial, one HR. But in most of the companies, coding round is just one. In most of the MNCs. In most of the startup, they take coding round also, then they take some sort of development round also in some companies like Udan, and then they take interview also. So this is the like overall view. Kritika,
So
you want to add something?
yeah, so coding round basically you can assume it to be medium, and for some companies it is easy to medium, and like Google it is medium to hard, and for Salesforce it was medium, less than medium also I can say. It was 4 questions, and it was basic, like basic DFS, basic DP, and everything was basic. But the condition was that if you solve all 4 questions with 100% test cases passed, then only you will get shortlisted for interviews. So if the questions are easy, then you will have to solve all the questions with 100% accuracy. Then only you'll get passed. So that's the condition. Otherwise, if you are good in medium to hard questions, it is the general for all companies. You'll be good to go.
Just one thing more, that time is also important. Like if they are
Yeah,
easy questions, then they shortlist the students on the basis of time, like how
yeah,
early you have submitted the question. So that is also important. Don't think that they are easy questions and you are taking complete 2 hours to complete them. If they are easy questions, you can finish them in 1 hour, finish them and submit the questions. Then only you will be shortlisted. In many of the companies, the questions are you will find many easy questions in some of the companies, and you have to submit it early to get shortlisted. So time is also important.
Right. So depending on the companies, most of them host their coding round on HackerRank or HackerR. So and some companies also ask MCQ questions. So most of the companies target your DSA skills only in the coding round, but some of them also ask OOPS concept and some what we say that OOPS and some basic DSA questions, uh, syntax based questions. I mean, so so what Oracle used to ask earlier is that they used to ask these questions. Uh, which are MCQ based and which are mostly based on trees, but they have recently changed their policy to again ask for the like other companies are going through the process, like giving coding rounds. So you will be given a platform like on HackerRank or Hacker Earth, and you will have a timer running there. So you have to solve mostly 4 questions or 3 questions, and all of people around you will be solving that. You will be solving them in your own computers. So but you cannot use any Google search or pre-installed templates, because if you use them you will get caught. So uh, and basically like Ashutosh and Kritika said, that if you solve more in less time, and then your chances are getting higher. So it depends on the company that how much people he want to hire, or what is the threshold that after that they want to hire. So depending on that, you will be hired. And there is also an interview. What do we say? Uh, uh, Based
GD,
shortlisting, and not GD,
resume.
resume based shortlisting, right? The word I was missing. So there is always a resume based shortlisting for some companies. Like you can only sit for the company coding round only if you are shortlisted. So have your resume also ready for the companies up to the mark of the JD. What is the job description? So include those projects only that are relevant to the JD. Then only your chances to get shortlisted will be more. Yeah, apart from that, one advice from me, startups ask very high level questions, and uh, the companies which are already settled, the tech giants, they ask easy questions in the interview rounds. In the coding round, it's equal for all. That's all.
One thing I would like to add, like the topics for the coding round, these are generally DP graphs and tree you can expect. Also, you can expect some tough topics like segment tree. You can say not segment tree exactly. You can also solve those questions by sparse table, but some of the companies in week one do ask these type of questions. So if you're targeting week one, I'll recommend you to like study the binary lifting and segmentary topics as well. And DP graph is like very important. Also read about the digit DP, 3DP. These are very hot topics in these times. And apart from that, generally there are two types of company. One which asks good level of questions, and one which asks very easy type of questions. So for the non-circuital guys, I will say always expect some good level of questions in the online assessment, because the company which generally ask easy question, you are not going to get shortlisted in those companies, because there will be a lot of people who are going to solve the questions, and the company will shortlist on the basis of branch only. This is the harsh truth. So do expect that good level of question. I will say hard questions. That is okay.
So our next question is, being in non-CS branch, there are certain topics of core CSE like DBMS and OOP, which we need to study for the intern. So my question is like, is there any platform or resource from where we can learn these topics?
The best platform is GFG,
Hmm.
where you can get the short notes of each of the topics. There are mainly four topics which you have to focus: OS, operating system, OOPS, DBMS, and networking. Out of these four, if you have less time, then you can focus mostly on OOPS and OS. These two are the topics which are mostly asked by the companies. DBMS is mostly asked by bank because they have a large database, so they ask DBMS. Networking is mostly, or I can say only, asked by Cisco only. Only Cisco focus on networking. So yeah, if you are targeting Cisco, then you can also focus on networks. So yeah, if you have less time, just focus on OOPS and OS.
Yeah, so for OS operating systems, you can refer to Gates Messer's playlist. It has 90 videos. I completed that. For OOPS, you can go with GFG. They have MCQ type questions, and I did that too only. Apart, my interview asked about DBMS, but you can say I also said that I am from electronics. These are not my core subjects, so I don't know that. It would be fine. You can say that, but cover OOPS, at least OOPS. OOPS is the most important.
Yeah,
So I think I can skip this question. This is for non-CSE branch.
Yeah, my
Actually,
take is also same. Focus on OOPS only. Actually, in DBMS, if you want to like prepare DBMS, do not like study the full part, because there are so much theories also in the DBMS, and they are not going to ask in the intern. So if you have some good preparation, you can like do the SQL only, and not the complete DBMS. But I will recommend you to like leave that topic. Do not read DBMS. operating systems are also generally not asked in the interviews. Most important topic is OOPS, and OOPS like you can complete it in 3, 4, 5 hours, I guess. So you can do it easily. And networking is asked in only in one company, Cisco, and so what you can do, like you can read it before the online assessment. Because in the online assessment as well, the MCQs of networking is asked in the Cisco, and in the interviews they also ask the questions of networking. So for this, for one company, I'll not say study the whole topics 90 video, was the 90 video at this point of time. Before 1, 2 days of the online assessment, you can read that.
OS is asked in many companies. I did the interview for 3 companies, and OS was asked in all 3: JPMC, Microsoft, and Salesforce. So OS is also important, I guess.
Actually, you have to prepare as per the companies. Like, see, if you have shortlisted for Microsoft, then Microsoft is the company of OS, and you have to study OS. If you have shortlisted for Cisco, then Cisco is a company of network. You have to prepare networks. If you have got shortlisted for bank, then you have to prepare DBMs. So you have to prepare as per the companies for which you are targeting.
Okay, so
And
we can like,
one
हाँ भैया.
one more thing I want to add, like if
Hmm.
system design is mostly asked by startups, so what you can do is go through just 2 case studies, how to design a parking lot and Uber, how to design your Uber. So just go through these 2 things, and system design basic is done. Like they ask that how you are going to design a system. Just go through these 2 studies, and I think all the basics will be covered, and nothing more after that will be asked. And for DBMS SQL, what Mukund says is the best. Just learn the acid properties, and uh, go through the SQL commands. That what they ask. And for OOPS, they ask inheritance, all the 6 features of OOPS: inheritance, polymorphism, function overriding, overloading, all the things they ask. And some companies ask this in one second. And some company ask this. I forgot. What I was saying. Oops. And some company like also ask to implement this while doing the code, like do the classes while implementing them.
Like MCQ
Uh,
questions, MCQ questions mostly.
and one thing I forgot, I will tell you later. This actually I got this.
Yes.
I have to pray for some time. I will tell you
Okay.
later.
Yes, yes. So like we can leave this topic for the last, and based on the shortlisting, or if we have time, then we can prepare these topics from the sources which you said.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are for the last.
Okay, so this question is especially for Ashutosh and Mukund Bhaiya, that being in non-circuital, you have cracked such offers. What would you say about it? Is there any strategy we need to follow if we are in non-circuital branch? And most important, what is the role of CPI in getting any intern? What would you say the safe limit is?
Hmm. First of all, the safe limit, which I will say for non-circuital branches, will be 8.5. If you have a CPI of 8.5 and plus, then you can consider yourself safe in CPI point of view. Then coming on the question for non-circuital branches, see, honestly speaking, there are very few offers for the non-circuital branches every year. This is not new thing. So you have to have 2 things: patience and knowledge. I know many of the people which are very good at coding, but they haven't got the internship. But I also know people who are mediocre type, but they have got internships in many good companies also. So you have to keep patience and you have to upgrade your knowledge. This is the uh, thing which you have to keep in mind if you are aiming for SDE role. The company will do biasness for the circle branches. This is very clear. And I don't think that, okay, if I will do all the questions, then I will get the shortlist. Many of the companies will not do this. They will be biased towards certical branches. You have to face it.
Okay, Bhaiya.
Mukund.
Hmm. Look, yeah, if you are a non-circuit guy, na, uh, two points from Asutosh I would like to take. That there will be a lot of luck factor will be involved, and second, there will be a lot of biasness. Like you will see that you have solved all the questions in an online assessment, and someone else getting the chance for the interview. You are not getting the chance, despite the fact you have solved it in the earliest time. This had happened to me in my time. So. One thing you can do, which is in your hand, uh, the opportunity for the interview is the toughest thing for any non-circuital guy. Like getting an opportunity for interview is very difficult. So first of all, prepare for DP and graph very well, so that you can do a good in online assessment. You can like get the multiple chance for the interview. If you couldn't crack any let's say crack any interview, then you can get the another chance also. Also, I would say the companies which will ask the easy questions. Let's say you are at this point of time, you are seeing that in any company easy questions are asked, so you are hoping that you will get internship easily. Any company which is asking easy questions, you are not going to get shortlisted. Either that will be your luck, or most of the time you are not going to get the intern. So for that, I will say prepare for the best. Prepare more for the online assessment, and for the interview as well. You have to give like you have to take a lead from others if you want to get in the same company as in the circuital guy. So you will have to like do some more effort.
Just one more point. If you are sitting for the test, hope that there are tough questions in the test. Because if there will be easy questions, then circuital guys will also do these questions and they will get shortlisted. If there will be tough questions, then you may have a chance. So hope for the tough questions in the test. Aim for the companies which ask tough questions. This all with what you can do. And yeah, as Mukund said, focus on the topics which companies usually ask, like BP and graph. And one more thing, focus on the interviews also, because you will get very less chances. We will get just one or two interview calls in week one and two. So you have to convert them to the final offer. So you have to focus on the interview part also.
Okay,
Like
Bhaiya.
having said of interview, like can you guys please throw some light on the interview process and how to prepare for the interview round?
Okay, so the interview is actually divided into three parts. Okay, mostly. Part one, DSA questions. Part two, CS concept. Part three, project. So I guess we have covered all the three parts. We have covered DSA part also. We have covered OS CS topics, and we have covered projects. If you have done the proper hard work in all the three components, then you will do well in the interview. One important question which normally students have, that whether English is very much important in interviews or not. This this will be the question of many students here. So in SDE interviews, normally English is not such a barrier. You can have a tutti frutti English, normal English. If you can just have a conversation with your interviewer, then that will be fine. You don't need a very high-fi English to have an intern, especially in SDE profile. This is a facility only in SDE profile. Ritika, you want to add something?
Yeah, so for interview, companies will have two or three rounds. Salesforce had three, two technical and one HR. In interviews, I guess I feel that the interviews DSA questions are less tough than the coding round, because you have to solve it in live and also communicate. Just communicate with the interviewee. Like, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts? How are you approaching the question? Don't be silent for more than just 10 or 15 seconds. You can ask for the time, sir. Can I think for this much time? Then you can take your time. But otherwise, don't be silent for a long time. it puts a bad impression. And just be communicable. And you can also, if you are not getting the approach, or you are stuck anywhere, you can ask for a hint. He himself will give a hint. You can take that and just move ahead. Mostly interviews are of 45 minutes to 1 hour. There'll be two DSA questions. I'm talking in general, two DSA questions. And if you did both questions, in the remaining amount of time, they'll ask again OOPS, OS, and some general behavioral questions. So yeah, just be communicable and communicate your thoughts, what you are thinking and how you are approaching. He'll correct you in the way only, so that you don't go wrong.
So I think everything is included by Ashutosh and Kritika again. But uh, adding to that, uh, what they said, that DSA questions they ask usually, first of all, they will, this question is very obvious, introduce yourself. So actually, my friend Swapnil once told me that you your interviewers treat you like they want to hire you only. तो वो चाहते हैं कि तुम्हें हायर करें, बट दे जज यू इन 3 minutes. Like they judge you based on the 3 minutes of your introduction. So if they like you, they will ask you easy questions, and if they think that you are not good, they will grill you. So having a good introduction is very important in the interview round, because that's your first impression, and truth is that first impression is going to become your last impression till the interview round. So don't so I usually say to people that mug your introduction. Don't mug it like that you have to speak and vomit it out. Just mug it that it flows from you, the introduction. So यही है कि interviewers are your friend only. They want to hire you. uh, just that they want to test you. You have cleared the coding round. They know that you are potential candidate. They are just testing that yes, we are correct. तो एक वो है, एक आईएएस की एक वीडियो है कि अगर मुझे तुम्हें हायर करना है तो मैं कहूँगा कि आपके मामा जी का नाम क्या है, और मुझे तुम्हें हायर नहीं करना तो मैं पूछूंगा कि मेरे मामा जी का नाम क्या है. Interviewers want you to get hired, so they will always support you. So in that, just have that you are enthusiastic for the company. So read before you are going to the company, that what is the company about, what values they have. Values point is very important. So they see that these values are within you also, that they want. So Oracle is all about values. पूरी company value पे चलती है. So that's what they like about me. And coming to the DSA questions, they ask DSA questions again. So they will give you a word pad in which there is no text editor. You have to code it there only. Sometimes there are text editor, but most of the time there is no text editor. They will frame you a question. You have to code it in front of them. So you have to use comments. You will not get your template. So be ready, and use classes. That will make a good impression that you know OOPS already. So these are the points. And HR round was for me was kind of a technical only. They were testing my abilities, that what if they would provoke me, what will I do? So they were kind of teasing me that तुमसे ये भी नहीं हो रहा, क्या कर रहे हो तुम? So these questions they will ask, and you have to be patient because they want you to get hired. Just they're testing your patience level. So tell them the truth. What is that? If you are stuck in some question, like what Kritika said, they will help you out. Just ask for a hint. Just tell them. Just don't show give up attitude. Show their never give up attitude. And it's easy. Interview round is not hard. As Mukund said, coding round is more difficult.
I think they have covered all the things.
Okay, so can you all please share some tips on resume building? What should be given more importance? What fields should be filled with care, and what kind of achievements or PORs can we put forth that are worth showcasing? And do achievements and PORs matter a lot in internships?
See, in my interview, there was no any question on POR in most of the interviews which I actually faced. But it will be good to have some PORs because you might not be having any internships. So it will be good if you have some PORs. It will look nice that your resume is filled, and the achievements can be. It will be good if you have achievements in the technical side. That, for example, we have many technical events like Udyam and something like that. So if you have taken part in Udyam, in TechNext, and you have achieved something, so that will be good. So it will be good if you have put achievements in the technical side. Then coming on the part of projects, we have already covered that you have to put 2 or 3 projects. Then project part is the most important part in any of the resume. They will mostly in SDE, they will mostly focus on the project part. They will not see much on your PORs and achievement. But it will be good if you have 2 or 3 PORs, if you have some good technical achievements, that will be fine. In achievements, if you put like I was first in running or and some sort of sports achievement, that will not help much. Technical achievement will help. You have to show the interviewer that you are interested in computer science by any how. This should be the motive.
Yeah, so for PORs, it is good to have one or two. If you don't, doesn't matter. For resume, first thing is like don't put exaggeration on your resume. Like if you're putting any word, just know the meaning of it. They can just take a word and ask about it. Oh, you are so good at it. Tell me about it. Explain me about it. So don't do it. And about achievements, you can put your co-curricular to just fill the resume also, right? You have to make the resume one page. Look it one page. It is a one page, right? And for example, I'll tell you, in HR round, there is most common question that tell me about your weaknesses. So it's a tricky question. You can handle it something like that I was an introvert before coming to college, but I'm improving it. And you can add a POR like marketing executive. So you can say that I took up positions like marketing head or marketing co-coordinator to improve my communication skills with my team and leadership skills. So you can connect everything with your resume, and just don't put something you don't know, and everything else is covered.
One thing I'll recommend that take like resume from your seniors, few seniors, and get inspired by those resume only, and avoid any grammatical mistake in the resume. Some people do it like they make their resume by their own, and some grammatical mistake can like leave some very bad impression on the interview. So I would say that take the resumes of your seniors, observe that, and you are enough smart that you can make a good resume by your own. So
Yeah, everything is again covered by all of them. So one thing additionally I want to tell that keep your recent work above and less recent work below, and put a timeline also that at this time I was in this position. And in achievements, try to use facts like the numbers and the improvement percentage that you have done over something, and what was the participants number, like what Mukund said, inspired by seniors resume, get inspired by seniors resume. And apart from this, that I want to tell you that in SD role they don't see your PORs much. So whether or not you are a head, co-head, some seki, joint seki, that don't matter much. So just your involvement in extracurricular activities is good to show that yes, you are also engaged in extracurricular activities apart from the core. And what Ashutosh said, that having technical, uh, proving that you are technically oriented is very good to show to the company that you are interested in the technical knowledge. So PORs matter, but they don't matter much. So even if you don't have any PORs, just push 3 projects instead of 2. That will also be fine. So just fill the one page so that it won't look blank. And if you have many PORs, then include only the most important 2 or max to max 3 in one liner or 2 liners, just the description. And don't make your resume go out of one page, because if the resume go out of one page, you are not getting shortlisted in most of the companies only, because they will reject it in the parsing of the resumes. So I have seen few students getting not getting shortlisted also due to that. So keep your resume one page only, clean and concise, and don't do grammatical errors and indenting errors. Try to use all the spaces at what Mukund said. Yeah, these things only.
There is a question in the chat from like, is there any wrong submission penalty in the coding round?
Yeah, there will be a penalty for the wrong submissions. In the most of the coding round you will face. So try not to submit any wrong like answer solution to any of the problem. Try to
It's
debug
like
it.
that.
You can
Hmm.
actually run the code on the sample test cases
Hmm.
as much time as you want. But once you submit the code, there will be penalty in most
Yeah,
of the
it's like
cases.
that. The maximum marks are 100. After one wrong submission, it will decrease to 80, then to 60. It's like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
think it also depends on the platform.
Hmm.
Sometimes there is no
Yeah,
negative marking.
sometimes
You
there
can
is no
submit anytime.
penalty. Hmm.
So
Yeah.
read the instruction carefully. If there is, then make your mentality according to them.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like a few months are left for our internship, and for the upcoming month, can you please share your preparation and revision tips for DSA? And like, what are the most important topics which we should cover in DSA for the intern point of view?
See, as Kritika has mentioned, the interview bit has that 500 questions now or 250. How much?
500.
That set of questions which you can actually do. That will be the best part to have a revision, and then you can focus on the for the interviews. You can have a glimpse of the CS topics in last, and what else you can focus. Yeah, that's all. Just
So what
be
I did
calm and
was,
cool.
when I was doing interview bit, I did mark star on the questions which I felt I need to revise. Like I'm not able to do it in my first attempt, or this algorithm is a basic algorithm on which we can solve many other questions. Just bookmark that, and at last you can revise all the questions. Also, you can write the algorithm names. Like if you want to revise this algorithm, like some basic questions on which all of the questions are based most probably, so you can do that. I also had a look of each question in 1 hour each topic, so that I can get a hang of each question again. So you can do that also. Otherwise, 180 questions SDE sheet is also good for revision.
Gaurav, here, do you have to add anything?
Uh, like what Kritika said, documentation preparation is very important. कहीं
Hmm.
लिख लो, prepare some a way to revise things in the last moments or daily. So what Striver in his SD sheet said that do for one day, then on the next day revise for the previous day, and then go for the other day. So at last, when you iterate this process, you will see that whenever you revise the previous days, so you will have all the concepts and all the things in your mind just in few minutes when you turn the copies or any bookmark that you see. So just write the approach that you did to solve the question, and one line for what was the question and approach and time complexity. Just 3 things are enough. just make a documentation of every question. So this will help you. अब अभी तो ये लग रहा होगा क्या है, मतलब हो गया, क्वेश्चन आता ही है, but you will forget eventually these things. And revising them is very important. Even if some question you are not able to solve it, if you see them 1 or 2 3 times, then it get fit in your mind, just like you know everything, and this question is coming from your head only. So this is very important. Revision is very important. So revise common occurring questions, and cyber SD sheet is best because the YouTube solutions are also available, video solution. So if in somewhere you are stucking, then you can go through the question. And also study this. What I forgot is I did not have studied this quick sort, merge sort algorithm, because every time we use the sort function, right? So go through this quick sort, merge sort algorithm. Merge sort is very important. So there are derivatives of these questions that get framed. So go through the derivatives of the questions, and what are 6 important topics? Just number theory basics, binary exponentiation. If you do it, just prime basic knowledge, prime number, sieve of erythrocytosis, something is there. This is the basic thing that you need in number theory. For binary search, you need to have binary search on answers. You have to learn that. This is the very common question that they ask, binary search on answers. And basic, you learn to use C++ STL function, lower bound and upper bound if you are using C++. Greedy algorithms is very common. In every coding round, they will ask greedy problem. So go through the basics, the fractional knapsack problems, the every greedy problem that we have, and dynamic programming. This is the very basic thing that you have to do. Like Mukund said, it's very important. Tree, graph, DP. These three are very important if you want to get to a company, good company. And go through the standard DP problems. If you are not able to solve the DP problems, it's okay. Go through the standard DP problem first. So if you understand the standard DP problems like LCS, Lawman, common subsequence, and other things, coin exchange, then you will see that these problems are only getting repeated. This is the trick that you want to get. And one more thing about DP, that every question will also get solved by recursion also, not iterative DP always you have to apply. Recursion DP, like we call memoization, something like that. So that only is fine for our stage at interview level. So I remember I got a question of 3D DP, and which I did by recursion, and it was running fine. So don't go for iterative. If you are comfortable with recursion, I can assure you, you are going to solve every question in the interview rounds. And for trees basically DFS is very, very important. Means you will see that 90% of the question will be getting solved by DFS only. And for graphs, learn the basic concept like minimum spanning trees, and Dijkstra's algorithm is very common. And connected component DSU part is very important because it will link to our Kruskal algorithm also, and it is very helpful in finding the connected component. So these are the topics that are very important in the DSA part.
Mukund bhaiya, do you have to add anything?
No, no, but
Okay, like there is a question in the chat from Abhishek. How important is binary tree and BSTF for coding round?
For coding round, they mostly ask, they see in most of the companies, especially for week 1 and week 2, they have 3 questions. One will be surely for GP, another one mostly will be of graph in most of the companies. Then they are left third question. A third question can be from array also, can be from strings also, can be from binary field also. So that there's the gamble. In these 3, 4, 5 topics, that third question can be. So yeah, they are a bit important. I remember
But for
this
trees,
question 3 was asked in American Express and in 1 or 2 companies, in one or two week 1 companies. So yeah, they are important.
But for trees, if a question is from trees, then 50% it will be from binary or BST only, and 50% it will be like
Yeah.
top view, left view, right view, bottom view. Like there are 2, 3 methods to iterate on the tree. Learn that. And BST is important. BST is important. It is frequently asked in the interviews. Yeah.
Gaurav bhaiya, Mukund bhaiya, do you have to add anything?
Look, generally these type of topics, like you can say binary tree or linked list, they are not asked in the coding round. They are more important in the interview rounds. In my case, JPMC Quant had given me the question of linked list in the coding round, but these cases are very rare. So I will say complete for binary tree or BST. You can complete the list of Striver. That is more than enough. More than enough for binary tree. And for linked list, what you can do, you can solve interview bit completely. You will be able to solve all the questions of linked list. So I think that is enough.
Okay, so would you like to share some memorable or interesting tales from your interviews that happened with you? Basically, the mistakes you have done, or some interesting things that happened with you in interview round.
Okay, I can share one thing. In this Cisco HR interview, the HR asked me about the salary, and then he told me the salary which was actually above than which was actually offered. So he actually wanted to test that if I say yes or no. So if a interviewer tries to do this, say the exact salary which is correct, they might wanted to see your honesty.
Sometimes it's also like that. Interviewer asked your question and you are able to solve it. You did it. It is passed, but he's forcing you to go for another approach because he has come prepared for one approach only. So it's kind of weird. You can make him understand, like, sir, it is good. Ask him flaws in your code. Like he'll make you do his approach because he's not getting your approach. This happened to me once, so you can go with it's funny though. He knows only one approach, he's saying do with that only.
So yeah, I would like to share one case that uh, interviewer I implemented a code using vector. So interviewer was not knowing what is vector. So he asked me that what is vector. So I explained it, sir, it's like array and oh no, implement using array only. What you are doing, this is wrong. So I said that this is more optimized. So no, implement using array only. So then I implemented using array.
The thing is, that in most of the companies, in many of the companies, the work is yet also done in C and Java, and in C we don't have vector. That's why this is the case that most of the software developers are not that well versed with vector maps and set and all that.
Hmm.
My experience is that in my interview there were two technical rounds and last was HR round. So I was like I did very good in the first two rounds. In the HR, actually, what happened before the interview was that I was not getting shortlisted for many companies despite of solving the questions, good number of questions in the OA. And in AI Dash, I solved the two questions and also like did good number of MCQs, but I was not expecting my shortlist because of the reasons I gave. And suddenly my shortlist came, and in the evening my interview was scheduled. And I did not know anything about AIDAS, that what AIDAS actually was. And in my HR interview, they asked me about the company, that what the company does and all about it. And I was not able to answer all the questions. Apart from that, also some few questions were asked that I was able to, but this was my big mistake. I would say that if you are doing very good in the first two rounds, technical round, which are hard as compared to HR, and then fucking up in HR, then that is very bad. So I would say that like read about the companies, what the company does, what are their values before going to the interview.
And there's a question in the chat from Simmer. Like, do we get pen and paper for making pseudo codes that approach the problem during the interview, or we have to
Yep.
do it on WordPad?
Yep. You will also get pen paper.
Like you can take permission from the interviewer that can I do on the paper, and mostly he will allow. He will not have any issue for that.
I didn't ask. I just used it. You can use it. You can take your own.
Oh,
What?
I didn't ask. You can just use it, I guess.
Okay.
yeah, that's also fine. They will not bother much.
Yeah,
They just want answers. They just want the
yeah.
answers, and honestly, they will take.
There's a question from Suryam. Can we do coding round using Python, or is it only CPP?
It will be
Better
fine
if it's
if
C++.
you will
Hmm.
CPP or Java. Python will be a bit difficult.
No, some people do in Python, but it's better doing C++.
Yeah, better.
Hmm.
The resources are also ample in C++ and Java for DSA.
So actually, some company, what with my seniors happened that some company did not allow them to code any other language apart from Java. So there are some companies that constrain you, but mostly company allow Python, C++, Java, even Kotlin also. But like Python is a kind of ignored language. So most of the company may not allow Python. So you have to go with C++ or Java only. And Java is such an important language that even in the OOPS questions, you will see Java questions only. So you will see that Java language coming, and I have not studied it because Java is object oriented and it's favorite of all the big high tech companies. So have but C++
Java and C are very
and C++
Java and CPP are
and
yeah,
CPP is our college language. So so be in CPP. If you are not able to do it, then most of the people will not be able to do that apart from this language. So basically, go with others in this case, CPP or Java. But most of the company allow even Python also.
Okay.
And don't use JavaScript, please, please, please. Don't use JavaScript.
Anybody have to add anything? Okay, so Abhishek has asked a question. Do you all remember some of the questions asked to you in OA?
I remember the concept, but I don't remember the question, of course. One question
Trajectory,
was
right?
DP. One question was DP plus Brickmask in Cisco, and one was on Bellman Ford algorithm. Graph. DP and graph, two questions. And then there were 15 MCQs, mostly on the networking part for Cisco.
For Microsoft, I remember there was an interval sorting type of question. Like you have to find a common free interval. There were intervals given for many employees kind of question. One was DP. In my Salesforce, there was 4 questions. One was of basic 2D DB, and one was for trees, basic DFS on trees. I have to search some element. It was looking complicated, but when we solved it, it passed on basic DFS. One was for string, um, something subsequence kind of question, and fourth one I don't remember.
Okay, you can
My
tell later
question,
when you remember.
my questions
Yeah,
in
those.
AQR capitals were mostly based on OOPS. So they were testing my OOPS concepts like uh, function overriding, polymorphism, and they were asking the edge cases.
Hmm.
So, uh, in the first round, and in the second round, they gave me a coding question which I have to code on WordPad, and then uh, from the WordPad, I have to directly paste the code to the code editor. So without any compilation error, I have to submit that. So I was got selected for only 2 rounds in Equa Capital, and for Oracle, I was gotten 4 questions. First one on 2 pointers, and second one on BST. Third was on pre-order, post-order traversal. Means basically the problem was to take the uh, value from upper node to the lower node, and then some operation will happen and take back to the value to the upper node. So just pre-order, post-order questions. And one last question in the HR round, they asked me, technical HR round was that they asked me, like, a string is given of date, you have to add a day to it without using the day function. So this was easy question.
Okay, so Mukund Bhaiya has already added the question in the chat. Okay. So also like Gaurav Bhaiya has prepared a Notion doc highlighting the important things that we should do in the last month. So Gaurav Bhaiya, can you explain more about it, and can you share your screen and show the to the audience?
Ashutosh, Mukund, Kritika, I have prepared a doc yesterday. So how to do it prep in 1 month. So could you please validate these things? Uh, I'm going to share this. Uh, so tell me when they are visible, right? Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visual.
So it's just including the resources. I've included only 2 resources, Striver SD Sheet and Interview Bit. So either you can follow Striver SD Sheet only or Interview Bit, or you can follow both if you have time. But if you are not started yet, then stick to one of these. And if you're going for interview bit, then these are the plans that you have to do: time, space, complexity in 1 day, array in 2 3 days, math in 2 days max. And similarly for all the, I have given the time devotion because only 1 month is remaining. So based on it, you have to give time to these topics. So while doing this topic, if you know already the concept, you can skip the concepts, means skip the questions. So just see the solution once before skipping the question. And these are theory topics. So what I followed was this love bubber cheat sheet in my times, because uh, what in our classes or in our book we get taught in our computer science, like operating system, it's kind of high level. But in interviews, they don't ask that high level knowledge. They just ask easy questions like what is virtual memory, what is polymorphism, what is overriding, overloading, things like that. So everything was included in the cheat sheet. So you can go through it. And for system design, I have included 2 YouTube links. You can go through the parking lot system, Uber. In AQR Capital, I was asked these questions. So I have included. And for companies like Cisco, uh, you can follow the roadmap. It's 1 day only. You can follow it and learn all the basic questions that are going to be asked. So it was prepared by Love Babbar, and I think it's very good at this time. So at least you will get to know the basic terms and terminologies in 1 day. You can do this, uh, and some things that are written very important, you have to not to skip it. And that what I tell you, that how to do a project. So any one of the project, Explore project, Inter project, Gita project, open source project, self-made projects, anything will work. If you don't have project, then go on a Udemy, buy a course, and add to that, or either take it from seniors at what Pratika and Ashutosh told. And if you have already have the project, then revise the topic. So it will take maximum 30, minimum 33 days or maximum 60 days, depending on your speed. So, or these are some tips, you can go through them. Yeah, that's for mock interviews, you can have this free interview site, premp.com. You can register for that, or you will have SAIC mock interview sessions. You can always ask your seniors to have your mock interview, or you can ping me also for that. And these are some tips for interview rounds, like uh, mug these answers, introduce yourself, tell me about your project, why should we hire you. So mug these answers, and whenever you go, just read about the company before you go. These are some tips for coding rounds. And what Mukundan said, that intern placement centric contest you have to give. Lead code weekly and bi-weekly contest, code studio Friday contest you can also give. And how much time you should now devote to a question is very important. So this part is very important. So read every question carefully, don't pre-assume anything. Think a solution. If you are not able to do it in 10 minutes, see the hint 1. In interview book, you will see the hints. After 5 minutes, then see hint 2. After 5 minutes, see the solution itself. So if not able to implement after 30 minutes, implement, then see the solution. So if you know the solution already and you are trying to implement, not able to implement, then see the solution. This is very important, that you have to give only 1 hour to a question. If you are giving more than that, then the question is killing you. So don't give more than 1 hour to any question. If you are not able to solve the question, just mug it. You will eventually remember it later. And have a documentation ready. Like create a notepad, copy every question, and remember less is more. तो कम पढ़ो, अच्छा पढ़ो, और उसी को अच्छे से करके आओ. नहीं तो ऐसा होगा कि इंटरव्यू में सेम क्वेश्चन आ रहा है, तुम वो भी नहीं करके आ रहे. So these are the things you can go through this doc. Yeah, anything, Kritika, Ashutosh, Mukund, you want to add?
Yeah, I would like to add one thing. अगर अभी तक you have not started graph, DP or trees, just don't directly jump to questions. Refer a playlist. I recommend Striver again. His trees and graph playlist and DP playlist also are very good. Like 35 or 40 videos, you are covered with all the concepts. Again, and one last point, do the programming, do the coding with your peers. Like I did it myself. It is very helpful. Like you decide कि आज ये topic और ये question करने हैं, 2-3 people with the same speed, and रात को discuss कर लेंगे क्या doubts है, क्या topics किए, क्या doubts है. तो वो काफी helpful है. It is a healthy competition and you will go ahead. Yeah.
Anybody has to add anything?
एक क्वेश्चन है चैट बॉक्स में, CPI क्राइटेरिया का. लाइक इफ यू आर फ्रॉम नॉन सर्किटल ना, CPI क्राइटेरिया थोड़ी कम दिखेंगी, मतलब उतनी ज़्यादा नहीं दिख रही होंगी. सर्किटल का मैं एग्जैक्टली नहीं बता सकता, लेकिन मैंने जो फेस किया है, मेरे को एक कंपनी में सिर्फ CPI से फ़ायदा हुआ था, एडोबी में. एडोबी इस सबका OA नहीं लेती, मतलब ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट. मेरे ध्यान से 3 लोग का हुआ था, मतलब ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट के लिए. उसके इंटरव्यू तक तो मतलब पहले ही एड मेरे इंटरव्यू लग गए थे, लेकिन ऑनलाइन असेसमेंट के लिए उसमें CPI से हुआ था. मोस्ट ऑफ द कंपनी को CPI का रोल आता कब है? CPI का रोल तभी आएगा ना जब ज़्यादा लोग क्वेश्चंस कर लेंगे और फिर शॉर्ट लिस्टिंग करनी होगी उन्हें. तो उस केस में और भी फैक्टर्स होते हैं, जो फैक्टर पहले भी हम बता चुके हैं, तो वो उस बेसिस पे शॉर्ट लिस्टिंग हो जाती है. जिस कंपनी में हार्ड क्वेश्चन आते हैं वहाँ पे CPI की जरूरत पड़ती नहीं. तो मैं कहूँगा कि अगर CPI कम है तो डरना मत, हो जाएगा, मतलब बहुत दिक्कत नहीं आने वाली है, मतलब कहीं ना कहीं तो हो ही जाएगा.
Okay, so on the ending note, please share some tips for the students who will be sitting for the intern season this summer.
Don't be
Yes.
panic. डरना मत कि मेरे साथ वाला का हो गया और मेरा अभी तक नहीं हुआ है.
बस वही है, कोई बात नहीं, नहीं भी होगा तो कोई दिक्कत की बात
हाँ.
नहीं है. प्लेसमेंट है, प्लेसमेंट सबका हो जाता है. सिंपल सी बात ये है.
बिकॉज वीक 1 में काफी लोग निकलेंगे, वीक 2 में काफी लोग निकलेंगे, तो वो थोड़ा माहौल वैसा बन जाता है कि यू आर पैनिक, और जो आता है वो भी भूल जाते हैं. तो जस्ट कीप ट्राइंग एंड एंजॉय.
जस्ट ये बस एक पार्ट है जो कि चला जाएगा, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. नहीं भी होगा तो कोई बात नहीं, होगा तो अच्छा है, नहीं भी होगा तो कोई बात नहीं. The thing is this, okay?
Luck
Not
factor
have to
बहुत
panic a lot. हाँ, luck factor बहुत है, अच्छा खासा है. Like you can say it is 70-30, 70% your and 30% luck. That 30% is not at all in your hand. Okay.
तो तुम ऐसा भी देखोगे, मतलब जो लोग कुछ भी नहीं करते उनकी इंटर्न पहले लग जाती है, बट ये लक है. तो इट्स गुड फॉर देम, डोंट कंपेयर योरसेल्फ विद देम. It's good for them, be happy that they got selected. Don't get worried, you will get selected, not today, maybe tomorrow, maybe next year, maybe next year. Something is good for you that is written. So don't panic and just study, give your
One
best.
is I got one question in the chat box that how many companies are open for all the branches, like open to all branches. So you can say there are nearly 50% of the companies, है ना, which are open to all, 50 or 60%.
more than 50 यार. In week 1 जनरली कुछ कंपनीज होती है जो नहीं खुल रही होती है, सेल्सफोर्स हो गया, गूगल हो गया, उसके बाद सारी खुलती हैं. वीक 2 आई डोंट रिमेंबर कि वीक 2 के बाद कोई कंपनी थी जो
Exactly, सब खुलती हैं almost.
I'm saying about 1 to 3, week 1 to 3.
हम्म,
For week 1 to 3, I guess there are 50 to 60% of the companies which
जहाँ
generally
तक I
open.
remember only 7-8 companies were there which were only open to circuital, otherwise all were open to.
that were 2 in week 1.
Yeah, exactly, in week 1 only. Like Microsoft,
After
yeah,
that,
Microsoft, Google. After that, all are open for. Yeah.
So, like most of the thing, I think we have covered. And if still there is any question, then you can unmute yourself and ask. इसकी अंशु देखो माइक फुल आउट है.
यार एक तो ये है कि है ना, अगर आप बैठे हो क्वेश्चन नहीं हो रहा है तो पार्शियल टेस्ट केसेस पास करके आना, चाहे इवन हार्ड कोड करके आना पड़े. वो 3 टेस्ट केसेस जो गिवन है, सी आउट वही करके आ जाए, तो एटलीस्ट यू विल गेट some more marks than those. So use your mind at the time when you are sitting. और जब तुम देखोगे कि काफ़ी सारे इंटरव्यू राउंड्स दोगे तो तुम्हारा खुद ब खुद इंटरेस्ट बनने लग जाएगा सीपी में. अभी नहीं भी बन रहा है तो भी बन जाएगा, तो उसको छोड़ना मत. अगर नहीं भी हो रहा है तो उसको पकड़े रखना, उस पेस को, और करते रहोगे ना. तो अभी नहीं हो रहा, पीक टाइम पे, मतलब बहुत लेट तक चलती है इंटर्नशिप. ज़रूरी नहीं है कि अभी मेन टाइम पे नहीं हो रहा. जैसे अगस्त मई में, वो जुलाई अगस्त सितंबर में नहीं हो रहा, नवंबर में नहीं हो रहा, ठीक है, बाद में भी आती है. बहुत लोग बाद में भी सेलेक्ट होते हैं, बहुत लोग ऑफ कैंपस भी अप्लाई करते हैं. तो ये रहो कि वो पेस नहीं टूटना चाहिए. जो आपने एक बार बना लिया ना इस समय में, 1 मंथ में जो अभी तुम पेस बनाओगे ना जून जुलाई में, वो पेस नहीं टूटना चाहिए जब तक सिलेक्शन नहीं हुआ था. तो वो इम्पोर्टेंट है. तो उस पर टिके रहो एंड यू विल गेट गुड. wherever you go you will खुश रहोगे भाई. जहाँ भी जाओगे, जहाँ मेहनत करके जाते हैं ना, वो खुश रहते हैं.
Okay, so I guess all the doubts are covered, and if still there is any doubt left, then I am sharing a link of our WhatsApp group. You can join that, and we can have your doubts later on.
I request all of our audience to fill out the feedback form sent in the chat box and join the WhatsApp group as soon as possible.
So like now we are coming to the end of the session. So before we come to the end, let me once more express my gratitude to the panelists for their time and insightful advice. We would like to provide you with our panelists with our mementos for a token of appreciation.
thanks a lot. Thank you.
Yes. We share the screen. Screen visual.
Yes, yes. This one's
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Ashutosh Bhaiya. This one's for Gaurav Bhaiya. This one's for Kritika Didi.
Thank you so much.
And this is for Mukund Bhaiya. Thank you so much, Bhaiya and Didi.
Thank you.
Yeah, it was great that you guys joined us and we had a very insightful session. Also, we will mail the mementos to you. And thanks to the audience for joining us. And officially, we can now end the session.
Thank you
Thank you,
guys.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye. Wait, can we have a photo?